Hello everyone, welcome back to Beyond Measure Homestead. I'm Jen here with this week's update. We want to share a quick garden tour to let you see what we grow right now, but we got word there was more progress on the new homestead. We were able to run down and get some videos in the rain, so please stay on until the end to see how far we are in week 3 of the build. But first, here's Jeff with a walkthrough of our current garden spaces.
Well, this is kind of where it all started. All I had that had any kind of sun exposure was my east side of my house, which before I even had all this in, it was just that little square bed you saw, the 4x4. Then I got this widened out. This year we have some summer squash, some flowers, trying to still get it established, some mums that keep coming back every year, which I'm grateful for, other flowers, columbine, some basil. So I try to bring some herbs up here that we can conveniently get to. Not the flowers, that's still the columbine. I come across the sidewalk, some more flowers. I got some sage growing there. 3 more basil plants on this side. Got a dill here stuck in the corner. Behind some more flowers. I'll pan out here. There's some standing phlox that'll bloom here later, which are one of my favorites. Cheaper raised beds that I could put together. Again, they're about 40 inch by 40 inch. Got it pretty crowded, but since I am in the soil with my compost, I push it pretty hard. There's some more tomatoes, another summer squash. There's some thyme that came back from last year, which is really pretty. Another sage plant on either side. And I actually had all this dill over here between that volunteered. And that's what I transplanted here into this bed and other places. Here's some melons this year. Hoping they're always slow to establish. It's always a challenge to see if the plant can survive long enough for the fruit to ripen. I've got some more peppers up here. It's another sage I had from last year, which is in flowering. So if you never saw if you've never seen a sage flower, that is what we got right there. Another squash, some more dill, another tomato, some more melons, and then in between, come around here. In between the beds, try to establish some. I usually have a nice row of sunflowers here, but the rabbits got to it this year and ate them before they could get big enough. So this will be some more squash, melons, I believe. There's a Cosmo that volunteered from last year. Like I said, the volunteer dill are doing extremely well. I gotta watch out and make sure they don't shade out the melons that I have here. So if you see the wood chips I've got, I've actually received them from Chip Drop. If you've never used them, they're really nice. They're free service, except you don't know when they're gonna come. You don't know how much you're gonna get. So if you see, I don't know if you can or not, the difference in my grass here, I got a load that was probably close to 6 cubic yards. So it reached from the street almost to where this tree, my Japanese maple, is. So I had a mound, and it was as wide as that bed. I want to say it reached across that. So we're probably talking, oh gosh, 15 by 20 feet. That was probably 4 to 5 feet tall of just wood chips. I actually didn't fight it. Took the chips I needed around here, put what I needed in the back for the chickens and for the garden and the pathways, and then just got this down to about 8 inches of chips. Let it decompose 1 year, and I actually had plants all the way from that bed way out to here, almost to the mailbox. And we had peppers, tomatoes, squash. So it was fun. But knowing that we're going to move, last year I went ahead and pulled all that back up, pulled off the wood chips, and just seeded with grass. And in 1 year, we got the grass back. So no harm, no foul on what died under all the wood chips. We got it back. This is the hill beside the house. It's not terrible, but as we're getting older, especially when you got a load of wood chips or compost, as you saw us, or what we had to unload out of the driveway that one time, the hill's enough. So this is the backyard. garden space that I slowly put together. How it looks this year. Probably the one failure is here in the corner. I tried to make this a strawberry patch a couple times, which you could see I'm noon, and I'm still shaded here, so all morning through noon it just never got enough sun, and so the strawberries could not compete with all the weeds. As you can see, I've lost that battle. This is all my asparagus, which were all planted from seeds 3 years ago. So as slow as they say asparagus is to grow, this stuff has taken off in the 3rd year. I had a ton of asparagus this year, which were fantastic. You may not like asparagus, but try it fresh. You might change your mind. So back to the garden. I just got a row of these little mounds. I've just put marigolds, some zinnias, some alyssum. Here's our pile of bush beans we've got. There's 3 rows here in this kind of the bottom of the U of my bed here. And I've got some summer squash and winter squash. Put some basil in between my squash and my tomatoes. There's another sage kind of hiding here. Just trying to throw off the smell. The squash bugs are really bad around here, so if I can kind of disrupt them with some other smells, I'm hoping to. Hornworms aren't too bad here. 1 year I had a bad problem. Since then, that was 3 years ago. Nothing too bad. Got a little dill hiding under there. So I'll come here out of the sun a little bit maybe. There's a look from the other side. So again, these were our determinants that you saw Jen and I working on earlier. I think I have Romas, I've got Jet Start, maybe some San Marzano. I actually forget what I put out. I just know there's some paste tomatoes and some slicers. And then I got a whole wall of basil. We really started getting into more herbs. Basil tea we love. So I'll make sure I had enough basil here on the inside. And then I've got another row of peppers. Starting to get kind of hidden by the green beans. I need to pull them back a little bit so the peppers get enough sun. And they're just sweet bell peppers this year, maybe some jalapenos. I think I went for the bigger ones so I can make more salsa later this year. The other side of another row of determinate tomatoes. You can hear my chickens in the background. Tried to add some more flowers this year, so I've got a few sunflowers here. We'll see if they take off or the rabbits get to them. I think all I've done is create a problem. Now I'm scared to weed from where I sowed my flowers, but I'll figure it out. Another basil, some more winter squash, summer squash. I do have a couple tiny rosemaries, which don't do great, but you see them kind of peeking there. I was working on were the big row of indeterminates. It should have another good 3 feet here before we have to worry about them. Some fruit setting on. We've got some cherry tomatoes starting here, if you can peek in. Yep, you can see them right there. A few other ones, I think the gold nugget. So the grape or cherry sized tomatoes are always the first ones I start getting this time of year. There he is. And you'll see, I'll go up here. Keep getting this massive silver maple in our backyard, and it keeps encroaching more and more every year. So this back corner only gets maybe 3 or 4 hours of sunlight. It's enough. This is a row of potatoes. I've got a little patch of strawberries here in the front. And then I've got some cilantro here that's reseeding. So I'm happy to have some cilantro again here in a few weeks with that reseeds. But the potatoes are what you see there. They may not look the best because they're knocked down, but it's early June. They've already flowered. I've had some big rains, so they're actually going to start fading in color. You see that a little bit, which means I could probably start getting some new potatoes anytime now. Give it another 2 or 3 weeks, and I should have a good batch of potatoes to start eating on. And funny story there is with all the packing and getting ready for our move, I had taken last year's potatoes and moved them off into a corner and forgot about them. And when I finally found them, probably March of this year, the islets had grown and sprouted so bad they were probably 8 to 12 inches long. Almost threw them away and thought, what the heck? I don't have anything to lose. I'll stick them in the ground and see if they can still sprout. So lesson learned. But how terrible you think that sprouted potato is in your box or your pantry. You can stick it in the ground, and a few months later have a whole nother plant and hopefully some produce underneath it. Time will tell. We'll do that little reveal later. It's always fun. It's one of my favorites, digging potatoes and seeing what the crop is you've got underground. This is bed here on the side. Here's my garlic patch. I did not do garlic this year, although I got a few volunteers that decided they still wanted to play. They've either hard necks, they've already shot up their scapes. I missed it there. Missed one scape here, you can see. It's got that white tip. That's what it's trying to make a seed head from. You can actually cut these all the way down and dice this up. It's like a mild garlic flavor. They're really good. You can make pestos out of them. Throw them into scrambled eggs I have, omelets. They're great. I did sow a patch of cilantro here. And because it is so shaded and terrible back here in the corner, it doesn't mind. So I'm hoping that keeps that from bolting. It gives me a chance to actually harvest some cilantro later. I've got some more squash. I'm trying to put out some volunteer tomatoes from what we had here 2 years ago. I got one more patch in the corner. Ignore my pond if you see it here. It's really dirty. It needs to get cleaned out after the winter. Still haven't done it. But I do act as water collection and water my garden there when I need it at times. But I had this back corner I thought would be great. Had big plans for it. Actually bought asparagus crowns here. And you can see they don't do nearly as well. These were 2 years in before I seeded. My chicken's really loud. I still get some asparagus from back here, but I've got woods behind my house. And the pressure from the honeysuckle, the other vining stuff that comes through, the weeds itself, it's really, really hard to keep up with this. And it's the furthest point in my backyard, so I'm probably not as diligent with it as I should be. But I do have another potato patch here, same situation. They flowered already. They're starting to die back a little bit. So it's a good idea in practice. It looked nice that you saw the pictures when I started. But man, it is really hard to fight the forest from encroaching on this. A lot of work to keep it back. So we'll see if I get anything out of it this year. I've already got some asparagus, like I said. If I can get some potatoes, it's a win. I'll clean it up and try to leave it good for the next person. We were excited to hear there was progress on the new house, so we headed down this past weekend to see it for ourselves. They are definitely past the big hole stage, so we were excited to see all of it taking off. Wow, they've really done a lot of work. It looks like here the footings are set in and the forms are going up, so that's good, including the front porch and the garage sections, along with the basement. The guys were out working Saturday despite the light rain that persisted all morning. They said they'd be back on Sunday as well. I'm hoping that means they have the concrete ordered and plan to pour the walls later this week. Either way, thanks for the work in the weekend, guys. Even with them digging deeper, I'm still surprised how high it was in the basement. I think there is terrain elevation and retaining walls in our future. In a real-time update for you, as I'm adding this voiceover, our builder just sent me this picture. They are pouring the walls. So fantastic news. The next update should be showing a lot of progress.
So that's our update for this week. Thank you so much for watching and joining us on our journey. Things are starting to take shape, so please subscribe if you want to follow along. We appreciate the support and encouragement from all of you. Add to the comments and share what you are growing this year. Time will fly by, and before you know it, we will be sharing videos of this view full of gardens and chickens and hopefully mini cows. Take care and God bless.